Hello.
Speak again. Say something. We are going to talk about bookings a little bit today. It's not necessarily going to be anything new that you haven't heard. And feel free to pipe in with ideas or questions as you may. The first thing that I want to do is just remind that with my hopes with doing this weekly series for a little bit was to hone in on what I mean, this is what they do for us with 31-minute calls and the ideas they share from home office, but really feeling like I've learned a lot over the years and figuring out what are the best areas to touch, whatever your goals are, 10 minutes a day or 2 hours a day, however you want to work it. These topics I want to talk about are the things that I have found. These are the simple, basic foundation of your business, regardless of your goals and how much time you have to work it. And so my hopes are that if we can kind of touch each one, and then you can all learn how to put that into your daily, weekly, monthly businesses, and keep cycling back around, that's what will build consistency. And that consistency turns into momentum. So while doing the same thing, you achieve a lot more because of the compounding effect. So that is I've seen that happen over the last 2 years. Yes. Okay, you may hurry up and give me one, then you have to go upstairs. Sorry. Dad put them to bed and it was a little bit tumultuous, so I'm getting a hug and a kiss. They're coming to me. So, okay. The first thing that I want to share is so my actual, I wrote out a mission statement. All right, I love you. Good night. Okay, I love you. You gotta go up to Dad if you need something. I have a meeting right now, okay? I can come up after my meeting, but this is what I have to do right now. You can go get Daddy if you need anything, okay? So my objective and my mission that I wanted to make sure I was focused on this as I was developing ideas and encouraging and touching base with each person was to learn and maintain business practices that lead to consistency and success as defined by each individual. And I will always encourage you that it's your goal and your journey. 31's conference theme this year is everyone has a story, and that's what I want to make sure that you're focused on your own story. Don't feel like it has to be someone else's story or someone else's goals. So that being said, every week when I talk about a new topic, I'm going to also share that it is so important that you know why you're doing what you're doing, because everything you do is going to be more impactful. And when you get stuck, you're going to feel more urge to push through that stuckness. So again, for me, it's been different things at different times. There's been a portion of my life where I needed to have parties so that I could honestly get out because things weren't always great here. There's been a time where I felt so much for the women at my parties that made me book more parties because I knew I had that chance to impact those women. And then the last 6 months, like I said, I have to make an income, so I don't stop following up, whether it means an order, a party, or whatever. I don't stop following up because I have a goal I have to meet. So knowing your goals, knowing your why, that's going to drive you to do what you do. And it's also going to make the impact of what you do so much stronger. It won't be as surface level as it can be. I'm not saying what to do at surface level. I'm saying from my experience, there's more impact in all of it once I knew why I was doing it. So that's going to be true we talked last week about sharing the opportunity. The more comfortable you can get with that, the more impact you're going to have on other family and other women's lives, and on yourself, because as you add people under you, your confidence builds and your income potential increases. The other thing about why I shared sharing the opportunity, and then we're going to go to booking, is that's one of the things that one of the coaches at home office, plus a few of my accountability partners, started telling me when I was like, I really would like to grow my team more. They're like, well, Miranda, you're like a powerhouse at booking. It's the same concept. You're just offering something different. You're offering the same package. It's just packaged up differently. You're still offering a good deal. You're still offering good girl time. You're just going to offer for them to do it first. And then the really cool thing is when they say no to the opportunity, you're like, awesome. I'd love to still be your bag lady. Can we plan you a party? And then asking for the party is easy after you share the opportunity. So that was one thing I learned. But with both of them, still knowing my goals and my why had made it easier and more impactful to do both. So with booking, the same thing. You want to know why you want to book a party. So there's different reasons why. Sorry, I have notes and I want to stay focused. So if I look down, I'm looking at my notes. So it might be income. If you have a goal, whether it's what you did last month or whether it's your biggest dream goal, tell yourself, this is what I want to do next month. This is how much I want to earn. And then break it down. Okay, if my average party is $600 and I'm going to make $150 at that party, how many parties do I need to reach that goal? And if you know it's what you want, you're more willing to push through the no's or push through the stuck feeling sometimes to get to those parties. Maybe it's incentives. Maybe it's the K groups. Maybe it's like right now where Kara's at, that she has the opportunity to earn that cruise. Maybe it's Disney. Maybe it's one that's going to come here sometime in the future because they like to always give something to earn. But maybe it's the incentives that push you to earn something more. If we add in the good habits along with that incentive push, that can also have positive long-term effect. Maybe it's products. Maybe okay, well, if I want to get new products, it's not in our budget for me either right now. I have to get my own orders or have my own party or earn the products that they offer us. Maybe it's girl time. Maybe you're in a season of life where it's the same thing. Like, I just really need that time to fill my cup, to push me to be a better wife, mom, friend, whatever it might be. Maybe the girl time would motivate you to book some parties. And maybe it's just to meet new people if you also kind of just love that. Some of my best friends now are people who were hostesses and customers for me. And then maybe it's the impact it can have on other people. There are probably others. Those are the main things that I would imagine could motivate you to maybe book more parties. And so, I don't know. What do you guys feel like right now? Like, if you had to pick from those things, what would be your biggest motivation? Or have you set goals and that's what's going to drive you to book your next 2 months worth of parties? If you'd like to share.
Well, I can say definitely.
Yes, for me, I definitely want to make cake. Oh, go ahead.
No, it's okay. You got it. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, for me, it's I definitely want to make at least half K this next round, and it's definitely just getting out of the house and having time with grown-ups. So that's my.
I can say for me, the earning of the cruise would be amazing, and so trying to be very intentional of getting out of my comfort zone to ask people that I might not even know that well if they'd like to have a party is hard, but that is a motivation for me to try to do that. And just having a party, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, I just really remembered why I like doing this, because it's just so much fun and fills my cup as I hopefully help fill other women's cups too.
For me, it's a lot of it's been for vacation money, and it's yet again, my BFF since 3rd grade, been married for 10 years, but she never really had a wedding. So for her 10-year anniversary, they're going to Jamaica, and that's going to be a few $1,000s, and I need to pay for that. I'm going to go.
Oh, so like they're going to go and like invite people, or just you guys going?
No, it's like it's a destination wedding as a 10-year anniversary.
That's kind of a really cool thing.
That's cool. Renew your vows. Awesome. I could do that in Jamaica.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys for sharing that. So again, keeping that in mind, every time you sit down to do this, you want to have that in your focus. If you're a crafty person, maybe that looks like making a dream board and having those things, but also thinking longer term, what are other things? So once you achieve that goal, what's the next one? So that you maintain your momentum and have something to look forward to. The next thing is starting to have calendar control. That's something that, again, I think I might have heard on the 31-minute call, and I know I've heard from other people. Okay, I'm basically like organized chaos. If you guys have been around me, you know that's how I am. And I also love my planner, but what would happen was I had too much stuff I was writing in my planner that like shut me down because I couldn't keep it organized. So one of the things I did was I got this one from Marshall's, and this is literally only my booking calendar, so I don't write other things in it. What I do is I pick when I can party. So I'll put these little stars on the dates that I want to party. And then one of the reasons I liked this one was this column here. It says to do in celebrations, but I don't use it for that. This is where I write like potential home parties and potential Facebook and catalog parties on the bottom. So then this is so small, it's not annoying to have to throw in my, like I carry a triple duty caddy for my mobile office, or I can throw this into my bag or purse. But I'm able to keep a running list, so then when I'm stuck on bookings, I can go back to these lists all the time and refer back to different people that I maybe never got a hold of or something. But so what I learned was I have a goal and I want X amount of home parties or X amount of Facebook and catalog parties. So I can mark that goal in this calendar, mark the dates. And so then the reason I also see that is because I found as you were trying to book parties and following up with people, if you gave them a specific date, then they were far more likely to book a party. So if I'm following up with Sarah and she went to Susie's party, and we've had our conversation, you know, whether mine's mostly via text message or Facebook message. I tried phone calls for a little while and everyone would not answer and then respond in the text message. So phone calls might work for some people. I'm not unwilling to try it again if I don't have luck with messaging. But so in a message, I might have had a conversation and then we get to the point where I'm asking her for a party and she says, okay, well, let me think about it. And I said, I'll say right then, I don't like to leave people, well, I don't say this to her, but I don't like to leave people thinking about it. So I'll say, okay, well, while you're thinking about it, does a weeknight or weekend work better? And so then when she tells me, I'll say, okay, well, I don't want my available dates to fill up too fast. So let me just tell you the dates I have now. And so I'll give her 2 dates. I might have more, but I give her 2 dates what fit her, what she says she wants to do. I've also learned to talk with my husband, and there's days I have parties and days I don't have parties, both according to what we're trying to make our weekly routine and according to what we want my income to be. So we look at, our kids are starting to get involved in activities, so it's becoming a little bit more tricky. But we have, I typically don't have parties on Monday and Tuesday. Unless it's a really good potential booking, he and I will talk about it and I'll do a Monday night. And then our monthly bingo is the only Tuesday night party I have. So I generally have my parties on Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. But we know that, so I mark on my calendar. That mindset was so good for me to know these are the days I want, because it made me more motivated when I followed up to stay focused on those days. It was a more concrete goal, I guess. And I found in my follow-up that having specific dates to share with people got them off the fence a little bit more. So that's why it's suggested with materials for today, getting it, well, I think I probably still had from last week a June and July calendar. At this point, we need a July and August calendar because you also want to try booking out some to really help you stay focused on your goals as well. But yeah, so having a calendar, knowing what dates you want to book is really helpful. So the next thing is who are you going to talk to when you're going to book parties? So you always have the chance to start fresh, first of all. And you then, for those of us, most everyone on here has some, and I guess if you're watching the recording, whether you are newer and you don't have a lot of people to follow up with, you can still start fresh. And those of us who are in this a little bit longer, we have both opportunities, because the reality is there's probably still a lot of people we left behind and never offered 31 to them. So there's a few resources for that. They might seem cheesy, but I will tell you guys, I use these resources almost every month myself. So this is the original Who Do You Know list. This is the Franks, your friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, kid connections, spouse connections. If you are ever working with a new consultant of your own or a hostess, if they don't have kids or a spouse, I always will suggest okay, what about your siblings connections or your best friends connections, so that they don't feel intimidated by that, because it could be a touchy topic, first of all. And second of all, we don't want to leave those 5 people off. You know, we want them to still think of someone, or however many people it leads to. But so I always will say sibling connections or like best friend connections, so that they still are thinking of someone. So that's the original list. The concept is you make yourself fill this list, so that I think a rut we all get into, especially whether we're new consultants or we're a little stuck, is we want to ask the people we think will say yes. Like, that's our natural tendency. And then people say, well, I can't book parties. And I'll ask them, well, who did you ask? Well, I asked my mom, my sister, and my best friend. Okay, so that's 3 people. statistically, you need to ask 7 more to get a yes. So we just need to keep that in mind. So that's why we want to overfill that list. And don't be afraid to share it. This is another thing that I kind of missed out on my notes before is it has just really impacted me to hear other people in our industry. I like to listen to podcasts and trainings and whatnot. And the reality is we have an amazing product that we clearly all love, and that's why we do this. Our product is not only cute and stylish, but it serves a purpose, because that's Cindy Monroe's vision. Is she wants purposeful products that are going to create a solution in a woman or family's life. And so we have something awesome to offer. Our opportunity is kind of the same way, whether it's our product or offering the opportunity. But if you focus on that and take the focus off yourself, like, don't think about, I'm asking them to have a party with me. Think about, I'm hoping to provide a solution not only for them, but for their friends and family, while getting really important girl time and community time in. The focus isn't about you. Last week, this online success coach that I follow, I'm a part of her group, she said, we need to realize that the message or the mission or the service is so much bigger than the messenger. So what we have to offer by means of our mission and our product is so much bigger than ourselves that should help eliminate that fear of asking for the booking or starting that conversation. So that should help us increase our number on this list by thinking, who can I offer a solution to? Because it's every single person you could run into every single day. So our list should be endless. Now, if you're like, okay, well, I already asked everyone I know, that's where this list comes into play. This is what they called the cross-pollination list. So instead of you writing down like who your first 48 to 60 people would be, this helps you brainstorm. Okay, who are past customers? Maybe these are people you never followed up with, which is okay. It's never too late. There's always something to talk about. Right now, it's the end of the catalog and the ice cream print. Then next month, it's a new catalog. And then the next month, it's likely an exclusive. We normally in September see an exclusive product, either for the hostess or the customer special. And then it's the holiday gift guide. And then there's literally always something that you can follow up with someone, even if it's been a year since you talked to them. So past customers, past hostesses, past consultants, friends, relatives, and relatives of my friends. So that's where it starts looking at not just the people you would know, but the people they would know. So that's a really good list. And if you print that one off, it's also got the Celebrate No tracker on the back as a good reminder that we have to hear no's to get to our yeses. If you guys watched the video, I think Liz shared it, or if you're in a K group, I feel like it got posted in all the K groups, but it was a really cool concept of taking your Franks list and doing Franks with them. So, so for my relative, I wrote my sister Steph's name in here. So the concept is you start with Steph. So she's my R, my relative Steph, and I'm going to try and think of a friend of hers, a relative of hers, an acquaintance of hers, a neighbor of hers, a kid connections of hers, and then a spouse connections of hers. And I was trying to do it the other day, and I think I came up with, except for her neighbors, I don't know any of her neighbors. And she doesn't really know any of her neighbors. But the other day I was thinking of who I would fill in there, and I could come up with someone for every single bubble. So it's 5 new people I can contact who probably aren't already in my contacts. So that, again, is doing Franks with your Franks. Come up with at least one friend, relative, acquaintance, neighbor, kid connection, spouse connection for you, and then bubble out each one for them. So that was kind of a fun idea. It's just a different idea of doing the same thing. Because again, if we have our goals, if we know why we're doing what we're doing, it is worth it, like Kara said, to step outside of our comfort zones to work towards our goals. That being said, with everything that has set the foundation for what we're doing over these weeks, the idea of, we'd already talked about sharing the opportunity, we're talking about booking, and ultimately we will talk about hostess coaching and follow-up and just consistency in general. I wanted to bring back this resource. I had brought this out last fall when I really pushed for everyone to have a business binder where they kind of put all their resources and training materials into and really worked on intentionally planning things. So this one's that action plan at the top, and it kind of puts everything into perspective for your week. So helping you focus, because I struggle with this, my to-do list is like 4 pages long, and that's unrealistic and sets me up for me personally with my anxiety. It makes me freeze and do nothing. So you need to pick your priorities. So what are the 6 top things you want to accomplish? Who are customers you need to follow up with? Who are party and recruit leads? Their new recruits you touch base with. Who do you want to send something written to? What catalogs or packets do you need to mail? Who do you need to call back because you didn't get a hold of them? And then what are some main to-dos? So this is another good resource if you're kind of like, gosh, Marina, I have so many ideas in my brain. I don't know where to start. This is a really good dashboard to start with. And then another piece of advice, this is kind of a different week's topic, but Heidi from Home Office has really helped me a lot personally and with my business. And one of the things she talks about is a parking lot. So when you're focusing on these tasks, if a squirrel pops into your head, write it in your parking lot so that you can go to it later when you're not focused on one of these things. So I would just write parking lot on the back and when I was using that resource and fill it in there. So basically, so now we talked about, we have our dates. Now we have our list. We have our past parties. So however you organize your past parties, you always have them to follow up with as well. So my hopes are this week that you guys can really dig in deep and work on some follow-up with the purpose of booking parties. You're not always going to book parties, so you need to have what's next. Are you going to re-invite them into your Facebook group? Are you going to ask them if it's okay to follow up with them with the new catalog? So you're going to have that other thing in your pocket, but really our goal this week is to book some parties because that'd be fabulous if we could book up July and even part of August, so then that weight is off your shoulder and now you can focus a little bit on some other things that we talk about and that maybe other areas of your business. So I just had written down here, so the who do you know, we have the initial list you could fill out, the cross-pollination idea. And then with your past parties, you want to follow up and make sure they're loving their products, see if you can add something to their set, tell them about the ice cream print, tell them about the end of the catalog. It's never too late to follow up. The best way to do that comfortably is to think of a connection, make it a genuine connection to make with them. So some things to start with is I always like to say, I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this new pattern and I had to tell you because I know you love entertaining, and so isn't ice cream double duty caddy the perfect thing for entertaining? So there's always the why you're excited and then why you connected with them. So the because. You don't have to start with I'm so excited, but you want that energy at the beginning. So, so why, and then offer it to them. So I'm so excited, tell them why, and then offer with the because. I was trying to come up with like a little formula to help you guys come up with a script because I'm happy to help with words. I just know I'm a lot more wordy and over the top than some people. So I was trying to come up with a basic. If you're going to connect someone, whether it's out of the blue or it's a genuine, they are expecting you to follow up, you want to share that excitement with them, tell them why you're excited and what you could have to offer with them. Finding that personal connection if you can. One thing that I have done in the past, when I sat down and I was ready for some dig deep booking, is I would type out either if I was going to my computer in Word or on my phone in the notes section, a little blurb, a little script that I would say to everyone, copy, paste it, and then add something personal. So that way I always have them right there. So the other thing is with you're out and about. That's another big connection that some of us are not always aware of or always comfortable with. And I know there's a couple of you that actually you individually have talked about this with me over the past few weeks. It's just that what do you do when you're out and about and someone tells you they like your bag or asks you what you do? I think that a couple of you have even had that experience here recently. So the other thing is are you prepared with that short commercial to answer them what it is that you do? And do you have the materials with you and the comfort level of saying, I create solutions for women, or whatever it might be. Like I'm a bag lady, or however you might answer that question, then you have a mini catalog to offer them and are willing to ask them if you can follow up. So sometimes we have our blinders on that it's people we know, when realistically our next booking could be at the library. My next booking could be at the library when I take my kids there tomorrow. If I'm willing, if I'm ready and willing to respond to that, I carry my products with me. So that's another thing is when you meet someone new that should see them as a potential booking. You always want to be able to like lead them with a compliment, and then offer the information to them as well. So that was mini catalogs is another thing. If you don't already have those in your bags, they should be in your bags. They fit in the Benjamin perfectly, and I guarantee most of you carry a Benjamin. I also did want to offer, if anyone ever wants me to make labels for them, I'm happy to do that because my dad buys my labels and my ink for me, and I like designing things. I can literally just put your picture, change your information out. If you want labels, like I don't know if you guys have ever seen mine, but I made them for someone else, and I realized I've never offered that. But if you guys ever want labels, I'm happy to make them for you. And then Deanna has shared too, how like now's the time to be handing out our materials. These are going to become obsolete after July. Make sure you have enough for however many parties you're going to have, and then hand those puppies out because they're technically they're done in spring. But the other reality is that the products are still awesome. I mean, and we were actually discussing this yesterday, what patterns we think. I wish we could just have the retirement list, but which patterns are staying and going? Because I feel like our novelty patterns will obviously go. I could picture Loopsy Daisy retiring, even though it's only been one catalog, just because it and Candy Corners are so similar, and they're both spring-summer season, or spring-summer patterns. Puppy Pop will go, I'm sure of it. Playful Pinwheel will go. I bet we'll get a new visual for home. And then I can't think of anything else that will retire. So really those colors are still going to be around likely. I find it hard to believe they'd retire many more than that. Products I can't picture. I feel like I love all of our products so much. I can't imagine what ones they're going to retire. So anyway, my point is they're still good. I mean, someone having that, if they just get it this month or next, them having it is still good because it has your contact information on it. Okay, so the next thing, I don't think we're going to have time to do it now, but one thing I really want to encourage you guys in, that this has really helped me, having my accountability group, created a safe place where I could share my struggles without complaining, because they don't let me complain, because they know my goals. I share my goals, and then I say, I'm struggling. I want to meet this goal. I'm struggling, and they're going to say, okay, we're sorry you're struggling. How can we fix it? And, like, meet me in between. So what I would love is for anyone on our team who would like that accountability, if we can get you guys connected so that people with similar goals can say, here's what I want to achieve, and you're not going to every month. Some months are just really going to suck if we're honest. And then we have to pull up our big girl panties and say, I'm going to do it again next month and figure this out, get through my struggles. But that's so much easier if, one, you are willing to share your struggles, and two, you are willing to find someone who can support you through that. I'm always happy to, but again, having someone that is reaching for the same exact thing you are is really beneficial. But also just having that vulnerability of saying, like, it's just not working right now. What could I be doing differently? So I wanted to encourage that, again, as we work through this and see that there are other people that have similar goals to us as we all begin to share our whys and share our goals. Accountability partners really, really are beneficial through these attempts at, like, I'm going to push forward and do this. Okay, so I'm going to keep encouraging you to touch base with your why and have your calendar next to it, and then those two things together should push you towards these bookings. Remember that we're going to hear no. 1 out of 10 is going to say yes. So we want to celebrate with that and know that I remember my mom has been in Mary Kay since I was like 9. And I remember I'd always listen to her coach her team, and she would always tell them, you know what? No just means next. And so you have to go on and ask the next person. But also, no just, oh my goodness. My sunburns get to my speech, I think. No also could just mean not right now. So I have learned when people say no to me, I don't say okay and crawl into my hole like I used to. I ask what's next. Like, okay. And then, like I mentioned before, could I? And then ask permission for something else. Could you join my Facebook group if they have it, if they're from a party? Could I touch base with you again in the fall? I have a huge list already for fall parties. Not booked, unfortunately, but because I asked that. So then I write them on that calendar in August that I'm going to follow up with them. The other thing is while it's similar to sharing the opportunity, even with parties, when we're booking parties, again, if we're going to say the message, the solution, the service we have to offer is bigger than us, that also means we have to be focused on why she would want to have a party. So same idea, if she were to become a consultant, we want to focus on her why for having a party, because that is what we want to get her amped up about, right? So if she loves the product, you're going to talk to her about those big ticket items that she can get for free or half price. If she's just desperate for another girls' night, you're going to talk about a theme party and how much fun she's going to have. And if she is just can't spend money, you're going to talk to her. You're really going to hostess coach her to get those people there, because she's going to get all. You're going to get free products. I'm going to help you earn your wish list for free. Just follow my lead. So you want to make sure that your words with her are matching why she would want to have a party. Because just like with consultants, our hostesses have different reasons they want to host as well. So really focusing on her will change your follow-up and your words you might use, what you're going to offer her. Okay, so again, we only have like a minute and a half. Well, I would like you to write these questions down, and then hopefully we can connect through this over the week. Because I wanted to say, I had written down, like, all right, let's be honest, like, how's everyone's booking doing? So think to yourself honestly, and then I will ask that question in the group as well. So here's my question. If you're going to be like, booking's not that great, my questions are going to be to you. So who have you asked? Okay, so you need to be real with yourself. Who have you asked? And maybe the question should be, who have you not asked? What did you offer to them? And what words did you use to offer it? Did you try to overcome their objections, or did you accept their first no? Did you ask permission to follow up with something else? And have you done that in the past? Did you follow up? Are you following up with past customers and past hostesses? So those are all questions, those dig deep, like maybe you don't want to answer them out loud kind of questions. I mean, I've been there, and sometimes I'm still there occasionally, but those are just the big things I want to encourage you in. I'm gonna wrap up here. If you guys have questions, send them to me in a private message and I'll answer them. Listen to 31-minute calls. I'm gonna share some with you this week. Fill out your who do you know list. Find an accountability partner. Work on what words you